what's going on YouTube? This is Garrett DJ Juice. Got another pickups video for you guys. This video is going to cover 1 week's worth of pickups. Really good week. So this video is going to cover pickups from like OfferUp, Craigslist, trades with some friends, trade with a game store, just a ton of stuff. So let's get started. We'll start off with a trade that I did with a guy named Shane. He lives in Kansas. I'm sending him a Pokemon Game Boy Color. What else am I sending him? I'm sending him Gunstar Heroes, just a cart, and a few other things, and in return, he gave me Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch, no battery back. We've got Balloon Fight, no battery back. And finally, I didn't know Radio Shack made little LCD handhelds, but this is called Highway. Never seen that, it's got the battery back. So very glad to add these 3 little handhelds to the collection. Alright, next up, so a guy responded to my want ad on Craigslist, and he was an Uber driver, and he said he had a bunch of cartridges for sale, and he only wanted 25 bucks for it. And the cool thing about it was he actually drove to my house to drop everything off. So for 25 bucks, got a bunch of stuff. We've got a copy of Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, Chuck Rock, Addams Family, Gradius 3, Gauntlet 2, Golf, Turbo Racing, Jeopardy, Golf, RBI Baseball 3, and that is it. Alright, moving on along to a couple of thrift store pickups. We got a copy of Rayman Arena that I picked up at a Goodwill for $2.99. A copy of Kingdom Hearts that I picked up for also $2.99. Super Mario Sunshine, it is complete, and that was $8.99. Let's see, what else do we have here? We also have a SingStar Country bundle with the game and the microphones, and I paid $4.99 for that. So this is a double, so I'm going to see if any PS2 collectors out there would like to add this to their collection. Alright, picked up a $10 DS lot off of OfferUp. Just a bunch of shovelware titles, but for 10 bucks for a total of 7 games, well worth it. So we've got Style Lab Fashion Design, Pets Nursery, Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure, Beat City, La La Loopsy, Imagine Babies, and finally Pets Dogs Talent Show. So 10 bucks for all that. So I picked something up at Vigigames that I've been longing for a very long time. I sold my copy, I think last year, to go to Hawaii. It's an N64 title. It's the very last one. I needed to regain pretty much everything that I sold to go to Hawaii with the family. And so I got a call from Vigigames, and they said, hey, we got a copy of Harvest Moon 64 in. And this was $49.99. So I had some store credit on the book, so I went over there, picked this up, and finally glad to get this back into the collection. Alright, next up we've got some pickups from the Ark. Lots of good stuff. So there was a PSP game in the cage, the game cage, that I wanted to take a look at. So they called a volunteer to help me out. And when the volunteer came to help me, he had a tub full of games that he was going to put into the cage. So I was like, hey, do you mind if I take a peek? So I ended up pulling a bunch of stuff and then totally ignored that one PSP game that I wanted to get in the first place. So the first item I saw was a Jawbone. This is the Icon HD. It's brand new sealed. This was $5.99. I've already posted it on eBay and it's sold for $39.99. So very good return on that. Next up we got some Crash games. And these were all $2.99 a piece. So pretty good prices for these. We've got Crash Bandicoot Warped. That was $2.99. We've got Crash Bash for $2.99. Crash Bandicoot 2 with the hologram cover. And finally, the original Crash Bandicoot. So that's awesome to get those for $3 a piece. Also picked up a couple of GameCube titles. We've got, these are all $3.99 each. Actually, I'll start off with the PlayStation 2 title. We've got Crash of the Titans for $3.99. Wallace and Gromit in Project Zoo, $3.99. And finally, Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, $3.99. These are all complete. So very glad to get those before they even went on the shelves. Alright, next up, I've got an Xbox 360 lot that I got off of OfferUp. somebody just started posting a bunch of Xbox 360 titles, so I was like, you know what? Let me pick out the ones that I want, and maybe I can bundle them up and get a really good deal on them. So I bundled up a ton of games, asked the person if they would take $60, and she was like, that's fine, I'll take 60 for all. What I didn't know was that some of these were sealed. So let's start with the sealed titles. We've got The Cursed Crusade, factory sealed. Earth Defense Force 2017. This is Civil War Secret Missions, and these are all factory sealed. And finally, Warhammer Battle March, factory sealed. And then these are all just regular, but all the discs are all in mint condition. These are all open. So we've got Two Worlds Collector's Edition, Star Trek Legacy, Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2, Lost Odyssey, Supreme Commander. We've got Infinite Discovery, The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition. Pretty cool little deluxe edition. History Channel Civil War Nation Divided. Battle Stations Midway. Battle Stations Pacific, which is a pretty pricey title. And we got 2 copies of Heroes Over Europe. This one has a water-damaged front cover. We've got Bully Scholarship Edition. Dragon's Dogma Dark Risen. Sorry. And finally, Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. So $60 for all that. Alright, so another guy hit me up on my want ad and said he had a bunch of stuff for sale. Unfortunately, he didn't drive. So he said that if I would pick everything up tonight, you know, that same night that he hit me up, he would throw in some freebies for me. So I was like, okay, cool. So I picked up a bunch of stuff for $100, and then he threw in some stuff, which I'll show you after this initial pickup. So we'll start off with a couple of a couple of games. We got Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix for the PS3, Super Monkey Ball 2 for the GameCube, Pikmin for the GameCube, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, Zelda The Wind Waker, and this is actually the Kmart variant, which is pretty cool. And we've got Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So those are the GameCube titles. He also threw in an Indigo GameCube controller. And we've got this Nintendo 64 with a red top. So that's got all the cords and hookups, expansion pack, but it does not have the jumper pack cover. But it did include 2 controllers, and GoldenEye, and Super Mario 64. So all that was $100. And then he threw in all this for free, a second N64 console with no jumper pack, no cables, controllers, nothing. And this is as is. I'm not even sure if this works yet. But he threw that in for me driving all the way to his house, as well as a couple of loose games. We've got Star Wars Rebel Assault, just Disc 2. We've got Spot Goes to Hollywood, Crash Team Racing, Crash Bandicoot Warped, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell, Killzone, True Crime Streets of LA, Ridge Racer 5. He also threw in Spyro the Dragon. There's no back artwork, just the manual and the disc. Threw that in. And then we've got copies of Black for the PS2, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. So those are all the freebies for me just driving all the way from Falcon to his house, which is about 25 minutes away. So well worth the extra trip, well worth the trip to get some free stuff. I picked this up off of OfferUp for $20. This is a Platinum Game Boy Advance. I sold mine a while back, so regaining this into the collection. It came with Super Mario World Advance 2. Everything works, so $20 for that. I bought this off of OfferUp. This was for $20, and it's an R4 SDHC Gold Pro. I love modding systems, so I'm going to actually see if this will work in my 3DS. He says that this will work on a 3DS XL or the 3DS, but only for DS games. So that's still good because I can run emulators and play Super Nintendo games on the 3DS. So $20 for that. Alright, so next up, there was an OfferUp ad that popped up for Nintendo Wii with a bunch of games. So I hit the guy up and asked him if he had anything else for sale. He said yes, He's actually deploying out to Texas, so he's getting rid of a bunch of stuff. So he sent me a list. We compiled everything together, went to his house during my lunch break, added more to the pile, agreed on a cost of $50 for everything, which is just insane. So for $50, I got a Game Boy Advance Indigo with no battery back. Came with Tetris. We've got Vegas Stakes Complete in Box, which is a pretty common Nintendo title. Saints Row Collector's Edition, Saints Row 2. The only thing that this is missing is the money clip and the bullet USB, but I have one complete, so this will be trade bait. We've got Frontlines Fuel of War. It's just the tin and the outer sleeve. We've got Phantom Dust for the original Xbox. And then there was a Nintendo Wii. I'm not going to show it. Actually, I'll show it. Nintendo Wii. No GameCube control port cover. But it came with a bunch of games. So we got Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, Metroid Prime Corruption, Alien Syndrome, Wii Sports Resort, Madden 08, Need for Speed Pro Street, Tiger Woods Tour 08, Wii Party, Wii Fit, and Trauma Center New Blood. So that's all the stuff that came with the Wii. And it also came with all the hookups, this little gun, 2 Wiimotes, and so that's all the games. Then I also cherry-picked some 360 games that he had. We got Batman Arkham Asylum with the 3D glasses in there, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that this game played in 3D, but there's the glasses. Got Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition for the original Xbox, as well as Silent Hill 4 The Room. Finally, we've got a Sega Dreamcast. Dreamcast is in pretty good shape, and it's got Sonic Adventure in there, which is pretty cool. So it has all the hookups and everything, and he also threw in this controller with the VMU on there, as well as this little light gun, which is pretty cool. Got a bunch of these. I'm trying to get 4 total. I think I have 3, so I need 1 more to have 4 for all 4 controller ports. But $50 for all that stuff, which was a really, really good deal. This here was $30. I actually picked this up on Friday after work. Somebody advertised some stuff for a yard sale, and there was a slight chance of rain that they might have canceled, so I went ahead and contacted them, asked them if I could just take this one bundle in particular, and they were okay with it. So for $30, I got the red DS Lite. It's all complete, and a bunch of games. So we've got Brain Age, Cooking Mama, Brain Age 2, 50 Classic Games, and finally Zookeeper. So not a bad deal for $30. This mainly caught my eye. I mean, I have this, but every time I see a complete in box DS Lite, I always got to pick it up. So $30 for all this stuff. All right. Earlier in the week, I went to an ARC after I went to a client appointment and picked up a bunch of stuff there. Some of the stuff was half off, some of it wasn't. Anything that was orange that day was half off. So I'm just sorting these out toward, according to price. Alright, so these were all priced at $4 a piece, but half off, so $2. We got Starsky and Hutch for the original Xbox, Sega GT 2002 with Jet Set Radio Future in the back, Sega GT Online. So all those were $2 each. These were marked at $5, so half off, $2.50 a piece. Zumba Fitness 2 for the Wii, Disney's Princess Enchanted Journey, Shrek Super Slam for the original Xbox, and NBA Street Volume 2. So $2.50 a piece for those. Super Bubble Pop was $3.99. Pink tags were not on sale that day, so that was $3.99. Then we have Spyro Eternal Night, which is only $2. It was a yellow tag, not half off. So there it is outside of the case. It's just the disc only. So Legend of Spyro Eternal Night. And then finally, this was $2.99. Army Men Real-Time Strategy for the GameCube. So pretty good. That's $2.99. All right, so why don't we go ahead and cover the flea market pickups? All right, so what we have here are pickups at the flea market from Darius and David. They're brothers that buy storage lockers at the flea market. They always have tons of stuff, but rarely any video game stuff. So this time they had a bunch of stuff. So we'll start off with the first pickup that I did with Vernon. We did a split. So there was a bunch of games, and we decided to go in on buying everything for $50, so $25 each. So he had some games, which included Super Metroid, Killer Instinct, a bunch of other stuff. I got F-Zero, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, Mortal Kombat, Super Scope 6, NBA Jam, Madden 95, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, Out of This World, and Hyper V-Ball. So, he had a glass case that had a bunch of stuff in there too, so I picked all this up for $60. So it's an NES with no hookups or anything like that, no power brick or anything. Came with Legend of Zelda. And I also got Super Metroid and NCAA basketball. And I also bought this 120 gig iPod Classic player. So all that for $60. So essentially I got the NES for $20, that for $20, Metroid for $20, and he threw that in for free. I also picked up this pretty cool Creative Labs, looks like surround sound for a computer. It's 310 watts. This actually sells on eBay for about $199. So he only charged me $20 for it. Everything's pretty much brand new in the box. Looks like it's never been touched or used. Everything's still in the styrofoam and plastics. So pretty amazing. Alright, so next up we have a GameCube lot. Paid a total of $35 for everything. So the GameCube actually had Wind Waker in it, which is cool. Nyko memory card. He also threw in this preview CD-ROM that's in this cool little packaging that looks like a GameCube. A couple of GameCube games, Mario Sunshine, Pikmin 2, Teen Titans, Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, and Piglet's Big Game. So the more you buy from him, the cheaper things are. So we got a bunch of Japanimation movies, which I love. Everything was $1 each, even if they were box sets. So we have Wolf's Run. We've got Witch Hunter Robin, Ghost in the Shell Special Edition, Pokemon Forever, Helsing, the Signature Series, Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop Remix, and there's a couple of volumes. There's Volume 5 is missing, so I still went ahead and got this set anyways. We've got Neon Genesis Evangelion Platinum Complete. He also gave me this for free, a Light Boy. Charged me $1 for this. Drawn to Life SpongeBob SquarePants. Gave that to me for free. That's X3. And then he also gave these to me for free. This is actually an extension cable for the magnetic charger for your MacBook, and a PS2 AV cable, and this really cool Star Wars limited edition coin. So he just threw this in for free. So if you spend money with them, they will definitely hook you up. So very happy with all this. Alright, so these are today's flea market finds. It's Sunday, and today was pretty weird because I was the only guy out there who was looking for games to buy. Everyone else was looking for records or like tools and stuff like that. We're going to start with a $12 pickup from one seller. Had 3 games, $4 a piece. We got Pokemon Y, Wii Sports, and Wii Sports Resort. Alright, next up, a guy was selling a GameCube and a bunch of games. The GameCube did not have the power brick or a controller, but everything was $15. So we got Donkey Konga 2, Soul Calibur 2, Geist, Freakstyle, NBA Street Volume 2, and a Platinum GameCube. And it also has Mario Kart Double Dash inside, so pretty nice bonus disc. So $15 for that. Ran into another seller that had a bunch of stuff for $1 a piece. Got Killer Cuts, the soundtrack for the Killer Instinct Super Nintendo bundle. This is going to Retro Rat. We got Jaws, Street Fighter 2010, The Legend of Cage, which is slightly sun-faded, and finally Raid 2020, which is a Color Dreams game. Alright, next up, these are $1 a piece. We got Monopoly for the Sega Genesis, Juiced 2, I Love Horses. Every time I see a horse game, it reminds me of Casey the Game Nerd. And finally, a little mini Merlin electronic toy. So $1 a piece for those. These next pickups were $2 a piece. We've got the DVD for, well, the Blu-ray for Avatar. Doesn't have an outer sleeve or anything, but that was pretty interesting. We got Viking, Max Payne 3, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Star Wars Battlefront, Namco Museum Remix, Marvel Superhero Squad. This is WWE 2K14, Saints Row the Third, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Injustice Gods Among Us, and Sonic the Hedgehog. So $2 a piece for those. Also, the guy that I bought the Cowboy Bebop set from, Darius, he ended up finding Volume 5. So finally able to get the full set. He gave this to me for free since I bought the other volumes from him yesterday. So Volume 5 finally. Alright, so this tub here is my first pickup of this morning. So there was a guy unloading a bunch of stuff, and I saw an Xbox 360, a white one, behind the behind his table. So I asked him, I said, hey, do you have any other video game stuff? He's like, yeah, we're doing some house cleaning, and so there's a bunch of stuff. Check back later. So I left, came back, and he was like pulling out an N64, out of this trailer that he had. And he had a bunch of games stacked up. So then I said, hey, can I take a look at that? So I went behind the tables and started taking a look at all the stuff. And then I asked him how much he wanted for that stuff. And he was like, I don't know, how about $30? And I was like, sold. So I grabbed all that stuff, went to my car, unloaded it, came back to see if he had any more things. And then he had another cartridge stacked up along with this, which is the I guess this is the Game Boy transfer pack. And he had another cartridge. So I asked him how much that was, or if he could throw it in the deal, and he said, no, I'll need a couple bucks for that. So I paid a couple of dollars for that, and then he had some other things that he was unloading. So all in all the stuff here cost me $40. So it was $30, well, $42. It was $30 for the Nintendo 64 with all the cartridges, and another $2 for the transfer pack and this other cart, and then he charged me $10 for two systems, one handheld, and a bunch of miscellaneous things. So we'll start off with this SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. Has the bonus disc, but unfortunately it was just the bonus disc. Didn't have the game in there. But still threw that in as part of the bundle. We got a DS Lite. It has a GameStop label on it. System's in here. Didn't check if it works or not, but it is in there. And it's got the instruction manuals and whatnot. So we're going to test that out to make sure that works. But that was thrown in there. Also got Pokemon Diamond, but it's not actually Pokemon Diamond. It is Pokemon Pearl. And then there's like this Wii Battle Revolution insert in there as well. So Pokemon Pearl instead of Diamond. Alright, we got Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back with a melted corner. The game is in there. Just a bunch of random stuff. The transfer pack I was talking about. We've got Naruto Ultimate Ninja Heroes for the PSP and Gex for the Game Boy Color. We got 2 untested PS2 Slims. Let's see what else. All the cords and the controllers for the PS2 Slims. I don't think there's power bricks though. There's only one power brick for one of the PS2s. Alright, we also got Star Wars Battlefront 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duelists of the Roses, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and another copy of Battlefront 2. Alright, so now we're getting to the good stuff. We also have the startup disc and manuals for the PS2. Alright, so here we go. N64. No jumper cover. And it's got Dylan Weber's name written on it. And it came with the power brick, no controllers, but it did come with the AV cable. But here's all the games that came with it. So we've got Zelda Majora's Mask, and it's got a kind of a partial torn back label. Star Fox 64, Mia Hamm Soccer, GoldenEye 007. Save that for last. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, Jet Force Gemini, and these all have Dylan Weber on the back of them. Super Mario 64, Pokemon Stadium, NBA Courtside. We got Tony Hawk 2, Madden 2002, and finally, the game that he had aside with the transfer pack, it was sitting down this way, and I was like, man, I hope that's Smash Brothers. And sure enough, Super Smash Brothers with Dylan Weber in the back as well. So all that stuff, just crazy. For the price I paid, $42 for everything. Just insane. All right, so after the flea market, hit up a couple yard sales. Wasn't much out there because I pretty much left at about 10. Actually, 9:30 at the flea market to get to this one yard sale that started at 10. And the only thing they had there were some PS2 games for $1 a piece. But I pulled Spyro: A Hero's Tale, Playboy the Mansion, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, and this has the game and the actual bonus DVD, which is cool. And finally, we got Spyro Enter the Dragonfly in a generic Hollywood video case, but the disc is in there. So $1 a piece for those. Went to another yard sale. Had 2 loose GameCube games, 50 cents a piece, so both for $1. The Incredibles and NBA Street Volume 3. And I went to another yard sale. They only had 1 Xbox game. It was Enchanted Arms, and this was $2. Finally, I got a response on my Craigslist ad, and a guy was selling a bunch of stuff for 50 bucks. A bunch of carts and PS1 RPGs. I tried to talk him down to 40 bucks just to, because I always like to haggle, but he was firm on 50. And in fact, he threw in, I believe it's 3 extra games when I came to pick it up. So we'll start off with Marble Madness, Burai Fighter, Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge for the Sega Genesis, as well as Fatal Rewind. Here's one of the games that he threw in for free, Cool Spot. Another game he threw in for free, Contra 4. And the other game he threw in for free was Robotron 64. And then here's all the other stuff. We got Populous for the Super Nintendo. And here's all the PS1 games. There's a bunch of them. Got Final Fantasy VIII, Xenogears, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX. And then these are all the non-RPG games. Colin McRae Rally. Keeping that. Colin McRae Rally 2.0. This actually jumped up in price. Twisted Metal 3. And Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. And we got some Nintendo carts in here as well. Castlevania 2. Tetris. Blaster Master. Tiger Healy. Narc. Ice Hockey. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And SNK Baseball Stars. And finally, 2 handheld games, which is the Legend of Zelda Oracles of Seasons, with a faded label, and Super Mario Land 2 and the Golden Coins. So, not bad for 50 bucks. So, the last pickups, one comes from GameStop. This is a game that I've been wanting to play ever since I finished the first one, and it's Project X Zone 2. Really fun game, a lot of characters returning from the first one, and plus some new ones. I started playing it. I've already got an hour and a half, 2 hours into it. So it's pretty interesting. So we'll see how it goes as far as the storyline. And then finally, this is an eBay pickup. A game that I've been looking for a while for the original Nintendo. A guy had one, and I told him I was interested in it, but I guess he didn't remember that I was interested in it, so he ended up selling it. So I ended up pulling the trigger on one on eBay for below what it usually averages for. So I got, for $95, a copy of Metal Storm for the Nintendo. And that is pretty much it for the pickups for this week. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Other than that, hope you guys are killing it out there. Happy hunting. Peace.